Big money here on the Dialing for Dollars movie. No really big winners today, but that's no excuse for you not watching. Who knows? You could win $16,000. Be with us tomorrow. The movie as it started in Naples with Clark Gable and Sophia Loren. See you tomorrow.
Good evening, I'm Nolan Johannes.
And I'm Karen Harch. Tonight in the news...
I'm Craig Stevens, live in Lycoming County, where April showers have caused widespread flooding. We'll have team coverage of where the floodwaters have hit.
I'm Dan Fiorucci. Tonight, in part 4 of our series on nuclear energy, I'll tell you about the cleanup at TMI Unit 2.
Plus, Tom looks ahead to the weekend weather.
And Joe Zone has his Sports Star of the Week. Newswatch 16 is next.
WNEP salutes the Northwest Area Rangers State Class A champs again.
In your car, listen to Newswatch 16 on WKRZ AM 1340.
Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, pilot Jack Rulin in Skycam 16, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark, and Joe Zone on sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Problems with flooding in Lycoming County, too. Newswatch 16's Craig Stevens is live in Williamsport. Any major troubles there, Craig?
Yes, Karen, there are a lot of major troubles here tonight. As you can see, the rain has stopped in Lycoming County. But just behind me, in this valley, are a lot of creeks and streams where the water level is still rising. That's causing a lot of problems for families who have to move their belongings to higher grounds, and for some, evacuate their homes altogether for the second time in as many months.
This is your police department. We are requesting you be prepared because of the increase of water above. We will keep you informed if you need to evacuate.
Police in Old Lycoming Township are taking no chances. Lycoming Creek is on the rise, and 60 homes here are threatened. In February, floodwaters caused people to suffer tens of thousands of dollars damage. Some homes here haven't even recovered from the flooding of about 2 months ago, and people like Johannes are getting ready to move out. Joe is moving out a brand new washer and dryer. Water destroyed the old ones in February.
Oh, we're not moving. Just getting our stuff up.
Prepared for the worst?
Yeah, always prepared.
Down the street, Jim Mayola isn't taking chances either. Back in February, there was little warning of floodwaters.
Caught us off guard, came up real quick. And that's what we're afraid of now, I guess.
You're not taking any chances?
Trying not to. Lost too much last time around.
Further up the creek, Lee Bauer and her family have been forced to leave their home. Water already surrounds it.
This is the second time this year we've left. And they just finished doing a lot of work on our house, $2,700 worth, and now we're out again. So I just laughed this time.
But for many, these floodwaters are no laughing matter. They are once again causing thousands of dollars in damage. For many people living along streams and creeks in Lycoming County tonight, they won't get much sleep because there is still a flood warning in effect. But as one woman put it who was forced out of her home, I'm lucky. The water isn't as bad as it was back in February, when floodwaters in Lycoming County caused $5 million in damage. Craig Stevens, Newswatch 16, live with the Instacam in Williamsport. Karen?
Thank you, Craig. So what's to blame for all those flooding problems? Our chief meteorologist, Tom Clark, is live in his weather office now to hopefully tell us about it. Tom?
Okay, Karen. Well, before the storm hit, we had as much as 6 inches of snow in the highest elevations of northeastern Pennsylvania that was melting onto ground that was already saturated. Now, when that was going on, the storm system was moving in from the Ohio Valley, and it was moving very, very slowly. And the result was the prolonged heavy rains throughout last night and this morning. Rainfall amounts anywhere from 1 inch to more than 2.5 inches in parts of Lycoming County and Monroe County. Now, just to give you an idea of how much water that is, over 1 acre of ground, 1 inch of rain is equal to about 27,150 gallons of water. 2 inches of rain on 1 acre, 54,300 gallons. And that's about 5 million gallons per square mile. So no wonder many of the streams are flooding now. Now, my latest observations show that the rainfall is tapered down to just a few intermittent rain showers now. Light rain, the balance of this night, I expect no more than 1/10 of an inch of rain between now and daybreak tomorrow, and just intermittent light showers through the day tomorrow. So the worst of it is over. Karen and Nolan?
Okay, Tom, thanks. We'll be back with you for the forecast in just a few moments. Look with us now, however, at the Susquehanna River and how it's being affected by the rains and the runoff tonight. The Federal Flood Service is forecasting that there's not much to worry about on the river. Flood stage of 9 feet in Tunkhannock will be reached by 9 tonight. That fills the river right up to the top of the banks in Wyoming County. Down to Wilkes-Barre, our top height will come at 20 to 21 feet at about 7 tomorrow morning. That's well below the official flood stage, but some low-lying areas such as Nesbitt Park could be underwater in the morning. Downstream in Sunbury, the Susquehanna could crest at 22 to 23 feet Friday afternoon.
We'll continue our series, Splitting the Atom. Is it worth the risk? Tonight, cleaning up TMI.
Of the Miami Dolphins. I grew up in Pittston and I love this area of Pennsylvania, but I don't like what's happening to some of our youngsters in this area and throughout the country. Drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol make you think that you're stronger, faster, and smarter, but they actually make you slower, less coherent, and weaker. Stay away from them. Do yourself a favor. They're only trouble.
When the nuclear power plant near Berwick was just in the planning stages, it carried a $1 billion price tag. Now with the Unit 1 reactor in operation and Unit 2 almost ready to go online, the cost for construction is estimated at $4 billion. Now that's what it costs when things go right at a nuclear plant, but what about when they go wrong? Tonight in part 4 of his series, Splitting the Atom, Is It Worth the Risk?, Dan Fiorucci looks at the cost and the time involved in cleaning up 3 Mile Island.
You're looking inside the damage containment.
All right, we're having a little technical problems there. We'll try to bring you Dan Fiorucci's report just as fast as we can. But right now, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark will be next with the forecast.
And is the rain over for good?
Yeah, please.
Well, not really. I'd keep the umbrella handy one more day. So it's a slow recovery process, and I'll tell you about it from the backyard when we come back.
I'm Mike Stevens on the Pennsylvania Road for Newswatch 16, and I meet a lot of interesting people. A maker of some interesting gadgets, a very special group of bell ringers, a builder of some very fine furniture, competitors in a rather unusual contest. Those are just some of the folks I've met so far. I hope you'll join me for a visit with some others on the Pennsylvania Road on Newswatch 16.
Again, part 4 of Dan Fiorucci's series, Splitting the Atom, Is It Worth the Risk? Tonight, Dan looks at the cost and the time involved in cleaning up TMI.
Island. Here, men in special protective suits are still working cleanup duty 5 years after the worst commercial nuclear power plant accident in history. But things are beginning to look up. Operators of the plant say that now the radioactive core has cooled down 100 times over since the accident. Cooled enough for the core to be safely removed.
The amount of heat is now so low that the core is keeping itself cool. There is no longer sufficient decay heat in the core to cause a problem.
When the accident occurred 5 years ago, the damage took place here inside of the reactor vessel. In that vessel are these fuel elements. They were measured at a temperature of up to 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit, enough to shatter them. The shattered elements of those fuel rods are now on the floor of the reactor vessel, forming a radioactive gravel.
We can get vacuum systems down there to extract the particles of fuel, and we can get grapples if there are major chunks remaining here to remove them from the core. All this being done underwater. Fuel will then be put into shielded canisters and shipped off-site.
If all goes as planned, then the cleanup of 3 Mile Island will begin in earnest late this summer. That's when the lid of the Unit 2 reactor vessel will be lifted off. Then perhaps by the summer of 1987, all of the damaged nuclear fuel will have been removed.
Authorities here say they don't expect any release of radiation into the environment during the $1,000 million cleanup operation.
There used to be a saying, I understand, of the wagon trains that crossed the plains to California. We've come a long way from Missouri. We've still got a long way to go. I think we are somewhere over the first range of the Rockies in terms of this cleanup, and we surely know a lot better where we are and what the direction is to the Pacific coast.
Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16, 3 Mile Island.
Well, Tom's lucky he doesn't have any roaring streams in his backyard, or otherwise he'd be standing in water. How is it out there, Tom?
It's very soggy in the backyard now. Just a light drizzle falling at the moment. And this time last night I predicted that about 1 inch of rain would fall in this backyard. I look over in the gauge and I see about 3/4 of an inch up to this point. But there's more rain on the way, but it will not be heavy and steady like we've had over the past 24 hours. The readings outside under a gray, melancholy sky look like this. Here, the reading is 57. It's kind of mild and muggy outside tonight. The humidity is 87%. The wind west just shifted now into the west at 10 miles per hour, and the barometer is falling still just a bit, 29.33. It's quite low. The range in temperature, look at that high today, 59 degrees. The warm air made it in. The low last night was 45, normals 54 and 35. Record high set way back in 1910. The record low way back in 1908. And they still stand. Look at that. The angry Lackawanna River flowing through Old Forge. I'd like to take a canoe down that. That'd be a lot of fun. Take a look at the storm system, a huge swirl of clouds which trace the flow of moist air coming in off the Atlantic into the storm center, which is now over Lake Erie. It actually stretches down over the state, but it's a very slow mover. The heavy rain is now up into New England. They're in for a good 2 inches of rain yet tonight, but the heavy stuff, as you can see now by the band of bright clouds, is up to the northeast. That marked the leading edge of somewhat drier air coming in behind a front which moved through here only about an hour and a half ago. Behind it, just some spotty showers and drizzle, and that will be our weather situation over the next 24 to 36 hours. Nothing heavy. I expect no more than a 1/4 inch of rain total between now and tomorrow night, so no big problems. This clear air will move in over the weekend to dry things out even further. Now let's go to the forecast for tonight. We'll have some showers around and some spotty drizzle, but that's about it, okay? 41 the low tonight in North Towanda, 41 in Avoca, 42 the low in Rock Glen, and a big hello goes out tonight to the entire student body of the Rock Glen Junior High. And they are a spirited bunch of students, and I'd love to be down there today. How about 43 down in Schuylkill Haven? Hello down there in Schuylkill County. And in Montgomery, the low tonight, about 40 degrees. Now tomorrow, more showers, more drizzle, and it's going to be kind of a cold day. The fog will continue into the morning hours into the Pocono Mountains like they have now, but don't be surprised up in the northern tier counties to see a few snowflakes mixed in with those rain showers. A west wind tomorrow, gusting up to 20 at times. It'll be a cold wind, so dress warm heading out tomorrow. 43 the high in Tunkhannock, and I want to say hi to Brownie Troop number 219, who visited me here at the Channel 16 Weather Center last night. Gouldsboro, 39 tomorrow, that's cold. 46 in Bloomsburg and Gordon, and in Larry's Creek, Lycoming County, 43, the chilly high tomorrow. Take a look at your health watch, reflecting a somewhat drier air coming in tomorrow, average on the resistance to aches and pains, and the gray skies won't do a whole lot for your mood, so try to think positive. Sunrise and sunset coming up at 5:39, the set at 6:33. Showers tonight, showers tomorrow, nothing heavy, nothing steady. Okay, just intermittent. 43 the high here in town tomorrow. 47 on Saturday, a dry day, partly sunny skies. Sunday looks beautiful at this point, and the clouds coming back in again on Monday. So the worst is over. Just some intermittent showers, nothing more than 1/10 of an inch overnight tonight. So that's good news.
Okay,
Sure
Tom,
is.
and we'll keep our eye on those streams that are rising right now,
For sure.
for tonight.
Thanks, Tom.
Joe Zone's coming up next. He'll have all sports.
Tonight, the sports star of the week.
How high will you try? $16,000 can be yours weekdays at 4.
More recognition for some of our area kids.
That's right, a big day, the all-state team out today. And one kid in particular stands at the top of the list, and many of you had a chance to see him for maybe the first time Saturday night in our live telecast of the Williamsport Erie Prep game. Pete White, the Williamsport guard who led his team to a state championship, named today first team all-state. Boy, that is big stuff. He was the only area player to make the first team. There it is, Pete White, first team all-state. On the second team, Allentown Central Catholics, Mike Papos, third team, Jim Exdorf of Williamsport, and then a whole slew of young men from the area who made honorable mention. Check them out. Ed Titus of Tamaqua, Keith Ortner of Northern Lehigh, Brett Jones of Northern Lehigh, Tony Bacon, Pottsville, Mark Graves, Jeff Churba of Williamsport. Boy, that Williamsport team highly represented. Jim Nolan of South Williamsport, Jim Friend of Athens, Bill Clark, Northeast Bradford, Mike Stevens of Sayre, Jim Koharchik of Allentown, Allen, and Jason Bellet of Palmerton. Congratulations to our all-state basketball players. Interesting, White being named all-state just today. I happened to be in Williamsport to present White with another honor, our Sports Star of the Week plaque. He was the perfect player last Saturday night, Pete White. He took what the other team gave him, adjusted to the role, and then performed. White performed to the tune of 26 points.
Well, we kind of figured they were going to play a defense where they were going to take my man and double up on the inside guy and leave me open for a split second for the jump shot.
And many of White's points came when the Millionaires needed them most. At the very beginning.
That helps you offensively, and it even helps you defensively, too.
And at the very end.
I was hoping I was the one that was going to get fouled, and they fouled me 4 times, and fortunately I hit 6 out of 7.
For Coach Pete White, there was naturally much more than the satisfaction a coach receives when one of his players does so well.
It gave me an opportunity to realize the fact that he is my son out there, and he did have a mission, and he completed his mission successfully, and that was, of course, to bring us home a state championship. And he had a great deal to do with it, and I'm very proud. And as the days go on, I get an opportunity to be more proud, because now it's all over.
For the role that you played in your team's championship game, we present you the WNEP TV Sports Star of the Week trophy. Congratulations, Peter.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay, Sports Star runners-up. Mark Graves, nice game, too, for Williamsport. And those 2 Northwest area kids, Jeff Stevers, Scott Miner, they had great games in their effort on Friday. And Sharon Domzalski of Wilkes College. One other thing to take care of in Williamsport today, I'll tell you, it was like Christmas, all the goodies we had. We also presented to the Williamsport team the 2nd annual Super 16 #1 award. It goes to the team voted as the top team in the area at the end of the season, and there's no doubt in my mind who that team is. The first Super 16 #1 award in basketball went to Northwest area last year. They finished 2nd this season. Well, it's a good bet that before the night's over, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will be the NBA's all-time leading scorer. Good bet for sure. The Lakers and Abdul-Jabbar play the Utah Jazz tonight in Las Vegas, of all places. Kareem needs 21 points to move ahead of Wilt Chamberlain's 31,419.
I'm very happy to be able to get to this point. It's not just another milestone. It's very significant, but at the same time, the most important aspect of my career has been helping my team do well. And I think what I've done in that respect is going to be more significant than the record.
Chamberlain, by the way, will be at the game tonight to see if it happens. High school basketball tonight, the game at Valley View, an all-star game, and also girls and boys games at Bishop Hoban. Those are all-star girls and boys basketball games. Baseball today, Tigers beat Minnesota 7-3. The Yankees go tonight in Kansas City. Fontenot will pitch. Phillies are off tomorrow night. They play in Cincinnati. That's all of it. Give tonight your best shot, and I'll see you at 11 o'clock with more stuff.
All right.
More stuff.
Any more NHL games tonight?
Playoffs are tonight. 7 or 8 of them, or 6 of them anyway.
We'll tune in for the scores.
Okay, we'll have
Thanks, Jeff.
Newswatch 16 will continue in 1 moment.
We'll have a recap of our top stories. Stay with us.
You ought to get out this fall and tour a United Way member agency in your community. From the very young to the very old, United Way serves thousands of your friends and neighbors each year. Visit an agency and see your United Way contribution at work and give generously, cause thanks to you, It works for all of us. The United Way. Call your United Way today.
Once again, tonight's top story, flooding in parts of northeastern and central Pennsylvania tonight.
In Lycoming County, the worst of it is in Old Lycoming Township. A flood warning is in effect there. The swollen Lycoming Creek has forced some people to pack up and leave. Others are moving their belongings to higher grounds. Up the creek in Powys, Lycoming County, the creek has overflowed. Some roads have been blocked. It's much the same in the Poconos, where creeks and streams are overflowing their banks. The water is fast and furious, and some people aren't taking any chances. They're cleaning out their basements.
And that's Newswatch 16 for this Thursday.
Be sure to join us tonight on the update when we'll be telling you about the imposters in our area.
World News Tonight is next with a look at tonight's presidential debate in Pittsburgh.
For the team, thank you for being with us. We'll see you at 11.
Enjoy your evening.